So I had done a video earlier about Donald Trump's AI Gaza video, and then I had answered a question regarding it. But I have a follow-up. This is from my YouTube channel, so I wanted to answer it. First, thank you for answering my request and doing this video. Secondly, I stand corrected as far as Trump making the video. He didn't, as you pointed out. Thirdly, you made some excellent points in this video response. But one thing that still bothers me is that while perhaps you're right that Trump posted the video on his platform to underline what AI is capable of, he should have at least disavowed the rank idolatry in that video, specifically the golden images of Trump, but he didn't. And he didn't do that because of this very reason. You're asking questions. That's why. It is. That it's so people will ask questions. It's so people will sit back and go, why is he doing that? Why doesn't he say anything? I think sometimes he wants to provoke people. Because we're in an AI war. And so, and it goes back even to what Q posted over and over, the ones I had read yesterday about how you have to be free thought. You have to have free thought. You can't make it without free thought. And we're so conditioned to, somebody needs to tell us. They need to disavow this. They need to. Trump doesn't, if people want to believe that he believes that he's some golden image God, as long as people are thinking, he doesn't care. Like everybody has this image that he's this sensitive guy and he needs this constant praise. And I don't think so. I think that people, not that everybody doesn't like praise, don't get me wrong, but I think that at least as somebody that has integrity, when you just have people around you doing nothing but always praising you, and never pushing back. And I don't mean to saying pushing back just to push back and be a jerk off. But I mean, standing up for your beliefs. I think people that have integrity have more respect for people that are willing to push back. So I think when he carries out free speech has returned, and this is why I've said since he was in the first time, there were times I could not listen to him during those long Fauci and him and Dr. Birx's, press conferences because I couldn't stand the praise for Fauci. I couldn't stand it. But it's like he's trying to provoke you because, don't fall back asleep. Don't. I need you to stay awake. I need you to stay alert. I need you to keep thinking. So he doesn't care even if his people get mad at him. I think he would rather his supporters, even though he knows most, will just, because I see some people, Trump supporters, and they'll say they're priding themselves on, I've stood with Donald Trump and have never wavered since day one. And it's like, yeah, well, good for you. So you show that you're just like the left, but on the right. The left, I can't stand that groupthink shit. I can't stand it. I hate it. And the left is very easily cattled because they love to cattle together and then groupthink. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. So part of it, I repel groupthink so much. And so when I see people, it's like, oh, okay, so are you supposed to get an award because you're the one that went the longest without ever questioning Donald Trump? Well, that looks more like you're just, you're mindless. Literally, Trump puts this stuff up or says this stuff to knowing that most people are just going to praise everything he does. And he's looking for the people who are going to stand up and say, no, I disagree. I'm sorry. I love you, Donald Trump, but no, I disagree. And really, he's doing it for more important reasons. And it's because of this. That's why he posts it and doesn't say anything. He wants people to ask questions to each other. Even if it's in his post, it's not like he ever answers anybody. But really, he can handle people if they disagree with him. I think Trump's a lot stronger than that, obviously. And he's somebody that looks at the big picture of things. So I think he probably is glad when people push back on him. I do. Especially when there's a legit reason for it. But it's because of this that he does, he'll post things that confuse people. Not that he wants to confuse people, but he needs people to stay awake. You cannot fall back asleep. You have got to do your own thinking. So as long as you're asking questions, whether it's to me or to somebody else, or you're thinking, why did he do that? Why did Trump post that? What do you think he meant? Then you're thinking. It's free thought, which is the most important, especially Because what this article talks about, and this was written a while ago, well, maybe 7 years ago. No, couldn't have been. It had to be sometime during Trump's first term. But basically, this is basically the pros and cons of the military using deep fakes. And how, well, really, it's been going on a long time, but. And this quote will tell you why he posts it and doesn't say anything. With careful editing, an indecisive firefight could be recast as a heroic battlefield victory. A few countering voices might claim other. Excuse me. Let me start that over. With careful editing, an indecisive firefight could recast as a heroic battlefield victory. A few countering voices might claim otherwise, but how can they prove it? Videos and images move faster than the truth. So he's trying to keep people, doesn't want people to fall back asleep. Deepfakes have a wide array of applications both on and off the battlefield. As a weapon of disinformation, deepfakes can shape political conversations by diverting attention from an issue, obscuring the truth, or directing audiences towards a certain course of action. As a military tool, deepfakes can be used for deception or as a cost-effective, non-escalating attack, either alone or in conjunction with conventional military operations. So this just talks about how, I guess, it says here, social media platform technology companies are also making strides to detect and combat weaponized deepfake attacks. In September 2019, Google created and released a data set of over 3,000 deepfakes to accelerate the global development of deepfake detection tools. But basically, this goes on to say that that the advancement in it is far surpassing their ability to detect it. So that's the reason. The only way that everybody can make it is you have to think. So even if Donald Trump loses supporters, which I don't think that's going to happen, if they stop and think why he's doing it, because it means breaking out of this narrative that Donald Trump is that he's just a sensitive person that needs constant praise. I don't think that's anything that he's about. I think he's fine with people pushing back, as long as people are thinking. Weaponized deepfake attacks can influence adversary decision making in one or two ways: by instigating a crisis, forcing an adversary to engage in quick, uncertain decision making that benefits the United States, or by altering the information available during a crisis and modifying the adversary's strategic calculus in a way that benefits the United States. Can you see how during the summer of 2020 this was used with the George Floyd incident? I'm not saying that was a fake incident, but it was very coordinated, how much they put it in your face and carried on, how they caused a complete breakdown in society doing that. And yet I'm sure they manipulated that footage, because George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. He didn't die because of that cop. He was stoned out of his mind. He was, but they manipulated that footage, and that cop sits in jail. That he got stabbed to death, or not to death, but stabbed 32 times because he's a cop, and they put him in general population. And he was following, that's what the media does to all of us. That's how much they manipulated and what went on to happen, exactly what they wanted. Then all summer long, we had to watch BLM and Antifa burn down buildings, set police cars on fire, terrify cities. I mean, it was ridiculous. That's why Trump posts stuff, so that you will ask questions. What is he doing? Why is he doing that? Because when you're dealing with this, he needs the country, as many as possible, doing their own free thinking.